Welcome back to CI Living on WCIA3. It's the second largest collection of its kind in the world, and it's right here in central Illinois. The story of the University of Illinois math models is part of our story. Wendy Harris and Hank Esmarski are here to tell us a little bit about the impact these models have had on what's really worldwide mathematical thinking. I mean, these are a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about them.
They're over 120 years old, some of them are. They came from Germany, the very early plaster models, and they're in display cases at the Altgeld Hall at the math department, and they're slowly disintegrating. They were made of plaster of Paris, but gradually over time, humidity and temperature changes, they're not as happy as they were 100 and some years ago.
Right, they need a little help.
They need some help.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about where this fits in terms of mathematical thought and why these things are important and why you decided to preserve them.
Well, the concept has existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years, to have replicas of various geometrical shapes. But really in the late 19th century, they got very serious about creating these to use in classrooms. And at the University of Illinois, they got the idea at the Columbian Exposition in 1893. They saw them up there, a good collection from, well, the big collection from Germany, and it made our department decide that we should have them.
To be worldwide leaders themselves and push forward. So that's kind of cool because it has that mathematical department history too to it. Yeah.
So we did grow beyond the initial collection. And these models were made by the U of I. Under the direction of a professor who was at the U of I.
Wow. And these, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we're talking about these, this is before we had calculators, before we had graphing calculators, computers certainly. People had to envision three-dimensionally what equations would look like, right? Or how they would turn out, and that's what these are for?
Absolutely. Okay. With paper or cardboard, they would try to make models. And there's a shot over here of a model of cubes with, on every face is another cube half size.
Oh, wow.
And so that is a fractal concept. There's 1 million cubes on the outer surface, which you can't hardly do with paper models.
Right. Very cool. So, okay, so all of this came to be, and tell me a little bit about the bigger picture. Why this is part of a museum, what this factors into in terms of mathematical thought. We have examples here, and then I want to go through some of these, if you would.
Okay. Well, really, we want to save them because there are so few.
Yeah.
And
because people decided we don't need these things anymore. We have calculators, computers. What do we need this?
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly.
And yet, like you said, they are a piece of art as well as a piece of history, and they just do not exist. Yeah. So we are working now to figure out exactly what exactly we have. We have around 380 of these. And we are still trying to identify them all and figure out exactly who made them and when they made them, and in some cases exactly what formula or geometric image they're trying to
represent. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit, Hank, if you would. Can you explain a couple? You said this was made in 1905, which is really cool too. So this is 108 years old, which is incredible. But can you explain some of these to us in very layman's terms? Because I'm sure people are out there going, math, don't you're killing my brain here. But I mean, these are expressions of different kinds of equations and thoughts mathematically, right?
And they are expressions that need to get outside of the math building. So we have a traveling museum show called Calculart, the intersection of math and art.
Okay.
And the university would not let us take these 100 and some year old models, so we have a 3D printer. We can laser scan the models, print them in plaster in 3D, and then take them to museums around the country to show the country what the University of Illinois can really do.
That's incredible, and you're doing kind of an online exhibit too. That's uniting these models with other models around the world.
Absolutely. The big pictures behind us are two-dimensional images of four-dimensional mathematical concepts called Julia sets, which, as we all know, are sort of related to Mandelbrot sets. So what does that mean? That doesn't show up on a calculator. That shows up in an image.
Okay.
And you need to visualize math so people don't get lost in it.
Right, yeah, no, I understand. So this green one behind us then, can you explain to us what that represents? You said it's a four-dimensional concept.
So, 4 physical dimensions.
I'm just going to
not-
go physically grab this and bring it forward because this is interesting to me. So I'm going to be gentle. I know it's a reproduction, but still, it's special. Okay.
It's actually not a reproduction. It's a computer printout.
Okay.
So you start out with a 4-dimensional mathematical concept, not time as the 4th dimension, but an actual W direction, orthogonal to the 3 dimensions we think we live in.
Right.
There may be a 4th
Height,
dimension.
width, and depth.
Right,
are
but then
3.
also go orthogonal to those 3 dimensions, and you can't visualize it because we can't show 4 dimensions, but then take a 3-dimensional projection of that and then make a 2D print.
Amazing.
And so they're just beautiful images to look at all on their own without trying to understand the math underneath it.
Well, this is incredible, and you guys are undergoing preservation. You have preservation opportunities to help with some of these models, and as well as the education part. How can people get in contact with you and come see all of this?
Well, anybody can walk into Altgeld Hall at any time. Actually, we literally have them on every floor. We have big glass cases. The presentation is not the quality that we want. That's what we're working on.
All right.
So that there is more to really tell you exactly what they are. But people are welcome to come by anytime.
Wendy and Hank, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on.
Hank's the man to get in contact with going forward, too, and Wendy's out there, and
Yeah.
we appreciate you both coming in and kind of showing us this,
Okay.
all this good stuff. We'll be right back, and we'll put all that information online, CILiving.tv. Stick with us.